Picture the sun beating down on Egypt's golden sands, the great pyramids towering above, a civilization of art, science, and mystery. For centuries, we've imagined the Egyptians as a single, unchanging people, isolated along the Nile. But what if that's only part of the story? Historians piece together Egypt's past from art, texts, and artifacts, but the true origins of the ancient Egyptians remained a riddle. The real question, who were they really? Where did their ancestors come from? For years, we could only guess until a new tool emerged: DNA science. By analyzing genetic material from mummies, scientists realized they could unlock secrets hidden for millennia. This genetic quest promised to rewrite what we thought we knew about the pharaohs and their people. The stage was set for a scientific revelation that would challenge everything we believed about ancient Egypt. In 2017, scientists at Germany's Max Planck Institute achieved the impossible, extracting ancient DNA from Egyptian mummies. DNA is fragile, especially in Egypt's heat, and previous attempts had failed or been contaminated. But new techniques let them piece together genetic puzzles from a burial site called Abu Zir el-Melek, home to ordinary Egyptians spanning 1,400 years. They sequenced the genomes of 90 individuals, covering eras from the New Kingdom to Roman rule. The results shocked the world. These ancient Egyptians were not most closely related to modern Egyptians. Instead, their DNA linked them to ancient populations from the Near East, places like Israel, Lebanon, and Turkey. There were even connections to early southern Europeans. This discovery shattered the idea of Egypt as an isolated civilization. The genetic evidence revealed a cosmopolitan population, shaped by centuries of migration and mixing. Egypt's foundation was a blend of ancestries from across the Mediterranean and Near East. The story of Egypt was far more interconnected than anyone had imagined. The strongest genetic signal in the mummies pointed to the Near East, the birthplace of agriculture. Early farmers migrated west, bringing their genes and technology, forming the roots of ancient Egypt. But the connections didn't stop there. DNA also linked Egyptians to Anatolia, home of the Hittites, Egypt's rivals and allies. Historical records show these empires traded, fought, and intermarried. Now genetics confirms people moved too. Even early Neolithic Europeans shared ancestry with Egyptians, showing the Mediterranean was a web of migration. Ancient Egypt was never static. It was a blend of North African hunter-gatherers and incoming farmers from the Levant and Anatolia. This fusion created the vibrant culture we admire today. The Egyptian identity was a tapestry woven from many threads, not a single unbroken line. Their civilization was built by the meeting and mixing of diverse peoples. The Nile was a crossroads, not a barrier. Egypt's greatness came from its openness to the world. Imagine ancient Egypt as a bustling hub, not a fortress. Its wealth and location drew people from Africa, Asia, and Europe. Traders, soldiers, and artisans arrived, many staying and integrating into Egyptian society. Egypt's empire brought in people from Nubia, the Near East, and beyond, each adding their own customs and DNA. Later, Persians, Greeks, and Romans conquered Egypt, bringing new waves of settlers. Cleopatra herself was of Greek descent, and after her, Egypt became a Roman province. Over centuries, these newcomers blended with locals, enriching Egypt's genetic fabric. DNA from the mummies shows this mixing was constant, not just a late phenomenon. Egypt's strength was its ability to absorb and integrate people from everywhere. Its civilization thrived because it was always a melting pot. The 2017 study compared ancient and modern Egyptians and found a major shift. Ancient Egyptians had strong Near Eastern roots, but modern Egyptians show more Sub-Saharan African ancestry. This change happened in the last 1,500 years after the Roman era. The Arab conquest and the trans-Saharan slave trade brought new waves of people into Egypt. Millions from Sub-Saharan Africa arrived, adding a new layer to Egypt's genetic story. Modern Egyptians are the inheritors of all this history. Near Eastern farmers, empire builders, and African migrants. Populations are never static. They're shaped by migration, trade, and conquest. DNA is a living document, always evolving. Egypt's story is one of constant change, not a frozen past. Identity is about the journey, not a single moment in time. These discoveries sparked debate. Some worried that Near Eastern links would overshadow Egypt's African heritage. Critics noted the study focused on one northern site, not the whole country, but science is a conversation, not a final verdict. Future research, especially in southern Egypt, will add more detail. What's clear, the idea of a pure, isolated civilization is a myth. Egypt's greatness came from mixing, movement, and openness. The ancient Egyptians were a blend of peoples and cultures, making their civilization enduring and unique. DNA science lets us listen to the silent stories of the past, revealing how connected we all are. The story of Egypt is a chapter in humanity's shared, mixed-up history, and the journey of discovery is far from over.